We play and call it work.
Hey folks, Janene from MiniWarGaming here with another how-to video for you. In this video, we are going to paint the skin on this Yvraine model. We want to do a really bright skin with some tattooing around the eyes. As always, if you have suggestions for something you'd like to see in a future how-to video, please leave them down below in the comments. Now right now, the skin is black, and we need to paint it with a much brighter base coat so that we have something to layer our brighter colors on top of without fighting the black undercoat. So we're going to begin by base coating everything with Deathclaw Brown. When working with skin, especially when painting a face, it's really important to make sure that you have a really thin paint. So we're going to be thinning ours with Lamian medium, but you can thin it with any medium that you like or even water. We just want to make sure that we have a paint that's got kind of a milky consistency to it, and we're going to apply this on all of the skin areas. Even with the Deathclaw Brown, which is a really nice pigmented color, and it will go on really well and give us a good base, it's going to take several layers for us to really build it up on top of this black. But that's several layers less than what we'd have to build up if we were to go all the way straight to our flesh colors. And this is also going to give us a nice shadow in some of the hollows of the cheeks and areas that we want to keep dark to kind of accentuate the contours on the face. So we're going to apply this over all of the skin. We're going to wait for each layer to dry before applying another one, and then we're just going to keep building it up and up until we have a really nice opaque color on top of all of the fleshy areas. Once we have the base coat of Deathclaw Brown, our next color is going to be Cadian Flesh Tone. And this we also want to thin down. We want to thin down all of our paints for this video. And we are going to be painting this color over most of the flesh area. We're really just leaving a few select places to be shadows. And that, for me, is going to be the areas between each of the fingers. We want to make sure that each finger is distinct, so we're going to leave a shadow in the very deep crevice there. We also want to leave a little bit of shadow in the hollows of the cheeks, kind of right where the ear meets up with the cheekbone. We want to leave that area a little bit darker. We're also going to leave a little bit of a shadow in the eye socket and around the hairline. Also in a small little section around the nose as well. And then when we move to the ears, we want to make sure that we leave this dark Deathclaw Brown in the shadow of the ear, and we want to paint all of the outer edges and make them nice and bright. This is another color that we want to build up in multiple controlled layers, adding a little bit on top and then waiting for that to dry and then adding another layer. This is just going to help us build up the color slowly, more controlled, and we can paint slightly less of the face each time we apply a new layer, which lets us kind of blend from the Cadian into the Deathclaw a little bit. After we're done with the Cadian Flesh Tone, the next color we want to use is going to be Kislev Flesh. With this color, we're going to be a little bit more selective of where we apply it. We're going to start really accentuating the contour of the face. So we want to apply this in the areas where the light would be hitting the face. That's going to be the top of the cheekbones. That's probably where our brightest colors are going to be. Then we also want to do the top of the bridge of the nose, and then a thin little section right along the jawline to really accentuate that jaw area and leave the recess in the hollows of the cheeks a little bit more pronounced. We're also going to highlight the area right next to the mouth. And the last place we want to apply this Kislev Flesh to is going to be the top area of the skull, right where it meets up with her mohawk. We want to have a really bright line there because that is the top of the head, and that would be the area that in theory would be getting the most light and be the shiniest. The tips of the ears need some of this color as well. And then as we move to the hand, we want to make sure that we paint the large area right where the thumb pad is and the very top of each of the fingers. All right, we're going to go even brighter. Our next color is going to be Flayed One Flesh. And we're applying this Flayed One Flesh color in all of those same areas that we just painted with the Kislev Flesh, but we're painting less of the model. We're really bringing the light to very deliberate points right towards the center of the face. So we're just highlighting the cheekbone area right underneath the eye, just the very tip of the nose, the very top of the head, just adding a slight bit of color to really accentuate the brightness in those specific places. Now that we're done with the skin, we're going to paint some tattooing on top of it, just around the eyes to kind of give it a different look. We're going to start with the color Abaddon Black. And with a very fine detail brush, I'm going to get into this tiny eye socket, and I want to paint the entire eye socket and maybe a little bit over the eye socket as well. I kind of want to get that whole hollowed area black because I'm going to paint the eyeball, and then we're going to leave a black ring on the outer edge to kind of act as eyeliner. Now on the one eye, I want to paint a couple of sharp points facing down. And then on the other eye, I'm going to paint a nice swoop, kind of where the eyebrow would start, going around towards the back and then connecting to the eye itself. We want to make sure that as we paint the eye socket that we're tapering off to a very sharp point on the outer edges, kind of like a cat eye look if it were makeup that you did in real life. We don't want it to be oval, we want it to be nice and sharp. After we've blocked out that black, we're going to highlight it a little bit with the color Incubi Darkness. And we're just going to use a little bit of this color to highlight inside the black line. It's going to soften it up a little bit and give it a little bit more dimension than just having it remain a solid black. And the very last thing I want to do is I want to take a little bit of Rakelin Flesh Shade, and I'm just going to apply this to the foot and the hand, just because I want to make sure that I don't lose any shadows that really accentuate each digit on those places. And doing a little bit of Rakelin Flesh Shade, it's just going to kind of darken up the shadows, darken up the recessed areas, and make each of the fingers and toes stand out from each other. All right, I went ahead and finished up the face by painting the eyes and the lips. But with those final touches, the skin of this Yvraine model is complete. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to see more how-to videos, I have another one where I'm going to paint all of the jewels on this model in a really nice dark purple in the MiniWarGaming Vault, and the link down below in the description. If you don't already have a Vault membership, you can go ahead and click the link and just sign up for a 7-day free trial. That gives you access to my video as well as hundreds of other videos in the MiniWarGaming Vault. So go ahead, click the link, start your free trial, and happy wargaming!